Three, two, one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Brewmaster's Draft, a show where we talk about a little bit about Dota and a little bit about beer. I will be your host, Flubb, and as always, I'm joined with my great co-host, Kimbrell himself. Kimbrell, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Pretty well considering the Doppy, or not the Doppy, the ZPS, there we go, the ZPS Devils. The rebranded Devils went 0-2 yesterday. But I've had a pretty good day, so I made up for that. And I think we made a lot of progress yesterday, actually, with the losses. I think you and Fafnir had a lot of good things to say. Constructive things to say. So, yeah, I'm doing pretty good today. How are you?
Doing all right. I'm doing all right. I've kind of had a rough week of Dota and a good week all at the same time. I've had good stuff for the show, and I'm excited about the content that I can bring today. I actually kind of formed a draft. I wasn't sure how it was going to work, so I actually tested it out this week with some people. And you might be able to find it if you're fast enough searching skills. But I think I'm going to try it out versus you today. If everything goes as planned. It's kind of a special draft that I've been working on for almost a month now with this new meta, and well, it's not new anymore, I guess, but with the meta that we're in and kind of preparing for what's going to happen after TI, I have a plan. So
Okay. I forgot you're leading the draft today because I was thinking of ideas and I was like, I'll roll with it. But if you're leading, great, because then I can just try to counter you and figure out what the hell you're trying to do.
Well, you could just say screw your plan and do with the plan of your own. That's what some drafters do.
I mean, typically, I would like to do that, like go into a draft and just have an idea of what I want to do. But there are times where it's like you see a hero and you're like, okay, we can immediately counter that and just delete one of their heroes, and it's like, oh, this hero is good against 3 of their heroes. So counter drafting is always fun.
Yeah, it's actually my preferred style. And this is kind of what I wanted to showcase today, obviously, is we're a show to kind of let people know about drafting in general, and I wanted to take this episode to be like, hey, this is how I break down drafts from the very beginning. I still have counterplay within it, but it's focused on like 2 or 3 heroes that you have to get. So if it does work out, it's great. Otherwise, I'm going to be countering you too. So we'll see what happens.
Anyway, I was going to go out on a little tangent. So the reason why today I've had a good day compared to yesterday, I just kind of wanted to talk about it because it's something I really enjoy. It's actually work. There's so many stresses at work. And maybe this is going to be Kimbrell's life lesson for the day or something. But there's always stresses at work and things like that. But today was one of those days where you come home and you're just like, damn, like that was awesome. Today was a great day. And I don't know, some people might not have that. But in the field that I work in, there's a few of those days where you come home and you feel pretty good about yourself. And today I was short-staffed, so that was stressful. And then I got told that we had promised a few of the residents that they could go to the pool, and so I was like, okay, well, we'll figure it out. And so I ended up having to go and actually doing a little bit of the grunt work, which I haven't had to do in a while. But I went, and one of the residents that came with us he's in a wheelchair, and he hasn't been in a pool since he was young. He was like 12 or so, and he got into a car wreck. And since then he's been wheelchair bound and has had like slight mental disabilities since then. But besides that, he's fully functioning. He cracks jokes all the time. And but yeah, he hasn't been in a pool since then. So we took him today, and me and another guy got him out. We got him into the water, and dude, it honestly, like I honestly like nearly cried while we were at the pool today. Like it was just one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of, and it made me appreciate just life in general a lot more than I guess I used to. I don't know, but it was just really cool seeing him enjoy the simple thing of being in a pool. And but yeah, that was my day, and it was actually fantastic. And I had to rush to get home because we got back from the pool, and I'm like, you know, I wear trunks and a like an A shirt or a beater or whatever you want to call it, and I just kind of looked down and looked at the time. I was like, shit. So I clocked out as soon as we got back. My bosses were like, yeah, get out of here. You know, you busted your ass today, and you can go. And so I drove home, and here I am now. But yeah, man, it's been an awesome day.
That's awesome, man. To give someone that gift that they thought that they would never get again. That's pretty cool. Didn't know if it would get this deep already. Like only 5 minutes into the podcast.
I know, dude. I just had to. I don't know. I had to share. It's just one of those things. One of those things. Like I said, it's something I've just always been passionate about. But yeah. Yeah,
man. That's awesome. I'm glad we got that deep. That's what's important. So.
But anyway, yes. Yesterday we went 0-2, and you know, the first game we had stand-ins, and I'm not going to blame the stand-ins. I'll just blame the fact we had stand-ins. It wasn't anybody's fault particularly. It was just communication and things like that. It's hard to do with two stand-ins. And then the second game, I think we just kind of learned that we needed to switch up. We needed to go back to what we used to do with one guy off lane, and me being a support, just because both of our supports are passive people, especially when it comes to talking out loud and making shot calls and things like that. And you and Fafnir casted those games, and you guys saw, and I'm sure anybody that was watching saw what the issue was. You know, we had a Warlock without his 6 at like 20 minutes or so, and his heroes without farm at all. So it just becomes an issue. So we made a switch. I feel like it's in the right direction. We should have just started with it like that, but I thought one big component to us breaking up as a team for a little while was our offlaner had gotten really bored. It got really stale, and it was right around the Beastmaster and then the Centaur times where those two were like the flavors of like 2 months. And if you didn't ban them or they weren't banned, then you better pick them.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I constantly picked those heroes, and he just got bored and it got stale. So now I feel like the offlane's a little more open, and there's a little bit more you can do. You have quite a bit of flexibility. So I'm excited. I was excited to be in the offlane because it's probably my favorite position. I think it's really fascinating just to learn it. But being back to support where I can make those shot calls and things like that will be fun again, because there were sometimes in the offlane where I would see team fights going on kind of near me, and I'm not necessarily ready because I don't have the farm or XP that I need to be there, like as a Legion or something like that. And it's like, I really want to come help, but I can't. And so that's just a struggle of being an offlane. So I'm excited to be able to just be all around the map again. So
yeah. So just to clarify, Dreadbeats, right? You call him?
Yes.
Okay, because like he changes his name all the time, and I can't keep track of it. But
Yep.
So Dreadbeats and Kimbrell are switching. Is there any other switch in your team that you guys have decided?
No, that was it. We had considered Tyrai and AG, but I feel like AG is better at a carry, and I don't necessarily want to have our most aggressive player as our carry. I'd rather have him as our mid, if anything. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's the only switch we're gonna make. So yeah, I think it'll do some good.
I think so too. You'll have a deeper appreciation. Sometimes in the offlane, it's an interesting thing. I'm both like a quiet person, and I can be loud when I need to be and be that captain. I think that me and you have a very similar personality in that way. So it makes sense that we're both good at offlane and as support. Like in the offlane, you want to be talking, but you don't want to oversaturate the mic, because a lot of times the stuff that's being said in the offlane is important, but there's not a lot of things that need to have direction in that lane. It's like, okay, I need to make the most out of this lane versus these supports, and hopefully I don't have to like direct anyone. Whereas like you go into obviously the captain mode or like that from the support, you're calling all these different positions, you're going in at different areas, and that's like a different type of fun. Plus the early game is you actually can get stuff done, it feels like.
Yeah. For sure. And I think our Dreadbeats wasn't fully. I don't want to make it seem like he's bad, because I think he had some good things that he did as a support.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
there were things that he just didn't understand, like pulling, being off. We talked about last night. Pulling and being off the map as a 4, especially if you're playing like a Tusk or something like that. You pull and you get your XP that you need, and you make sure you're denying to get extra XP and all that stuff, and you're off the map, which is, it sounds silly, but you're essentially applying pressure to the rest of the map when you're off the map. Because people are going to be hesitant to dive on you if somebody's not on the map and things like that, especially at Tusk. And then you can leave because no one's going to know that you actually left the lane because you've been off the map the entire time. And it just kind of opens up things. And instead, I think he thought he had the mindset that he was just going to, from like minute 2, once they bullied out the off lane, he was going to leave lane and go mid or whatever. And it was always mid or the safe lane. And we never really went off lane. And there were times where it's like, we can punish the person here. Like, there's a Spectre here. We can punish the hell out of them if we just bring somebody else. And we just never did. And then it's like, oh, there's a hero mid that we're not going to kill. So why even waste the time going mid? And he just didn't quite get it. I don't think he read the map as he should. And he and I discussed that, and he did agree that he felt like I was better at reading the map, and we just had a better flow with him in the off lane and things like that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, that makes sense. And not so that people don't think that we're bashing Dread. He had some very good plays and stuff. Like Kimbrell was saying, and obviously he's the captain. He's not trying to do anything like that. Dread had really good rotations, to say the least. Like, he had good movements, and he would sacrifice himself for the play, which is needs to happen for support. So I just wanted to like make that clear. Is like it's a tricky balance, right? And you know this, Kimbrell. You're a seasoned support player. That not only do you have to have that pressure by being off the map and get those stacks and pulls and such, but you have to be able to know when the play is completely dead and when to call it, and when to sacrifice yourself so that your mid or your safe lane or even off lane can get out safely, so that they can farm. So it was good to see that. For me though, I kind of going away from the Devils just for a second. I don't want to make it all about me, sorry, but I want to talk about my Dota experience this week. Man, I lost my 5K. Like, I am on a mission this weekend. I'm going to get that back. I'm so disappointed in myself. I lost it yesterday, and I was like, hit me deep. And, when you get those mile markers and then you, like, lose them after, like, a couple plays. Like, if you see my Dota buff, it's so ridiculous. It's like I'm struggling on that line so much. Yeah. So, I don't know if you could technically call me 5K, but I feel like I'm 5K.
I mean, yes. MMR is just, I don't know. It's one of those things, it's a touchy subject, because I could say MMR is just a number, and I'll have, whoever hears this will be like, well, no, you're wrong. It's actually, it's your skill, and it's not just a number. And it's like, I feel like to a degree, it's still just a number. Like, I was party-wise, I was just 3K, and people were like, oh, party doesn't matter and all that. And I hate how low my skill is, because I feel like personally, and I might be wrong, but mentally, I feel like MMR-wise, if you were to just base it on my mental game, then it's a bit higher, but my mechanics that aren't as great. They're not as refined. And I've been playing MOBA since Dota was my first one, so I've been playing for 3 years now, and that's it. But I don't know. MMR is just, it's a good point to start at, like, hey, this is around where I'm skilled, but I feel like it's also just a number. So in your case, I do believe you're a 5K player. In my case, I do believe that I'm around a 3K player right now, and I just lost my party 3K. I doubled down 2 freaking games, and we ended up losing them. And it's like, now I'm down, and I don't know. It's frustrating. Especially when you're right on that cusp, and then you lose, and then you gain it back, and you work all this, you play all these games and you get it back, and then you lose it right away, and it's just, it's super frustrating.
I feel like the
So,
double down takes more than it gives. I don't know about you, but
I think I don't know. I would want to say that, but I think it's just a matter of like, son of a bitch, I just lost this much MMR, and you look at it and it feels like so much, but when you gain it, you look at it and it doesn't feel like as much. It's like, oh, I essentially just won 2 games. But if you lose, you're like, I don't know what happened. Like that's 50 MMR gone. I don't know. And it just seems like more for some reason to me than it does when we're gaining it. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be like the whole culture of Dota 2 too. There's like an article I know I sent you out, sent you the other day. I think it was yesterday actually, and it was someone who was talking on Reddit. For those of you who are listening in, and basically what it was talking about was how Dota 2 was a toxic environment, and there's people talking in it, and they say that they don't encourage each other as teammates. They like talk about bad things about each other, but they never really talk about the good things. And it's kind of an attitude, I almost feel like, and it's not even like that with teams. It's like what you just described there, Kimbrell, is like I feel like the Dota player's attitude. It's like we take the losses so much harder than we accept the wins and like pat ourselves on the back.
Okay, so there was a day 9 video that came out. He was playing Hearthstone, and somebody asked him about the Dota community. And it's one of the funniest and most accurate things I have ever seen about Dota and the community. And he was talking about how these people that come into these games, things go wrong, they find someone to blame. And he's talking about how like this person will just blame the Sven. I can't believe you didn't go BKB already. And they start blaming this person. And the biggest issue is that Sven, instead of just taking it and just like, you know what, you're right, I probably should have won BKB, and just going on about his day, he takes it so personally and he gives it right back like, well, I can't believe you didn't go Bloodthorn. How stupid is that? And he just goes back and forth, and he's like, and the funniest thing is they're calling each other 12-year-old idiots who didn't go BKB or whatever, when really, in reality, they're 20 to 30-year-old idiots who are just mad because they're wasting their time on a game they should be winning, but they're losing, and so now they've wasted 50 minutes of their life because they feel like some idiot did something wrong, when in reality, it's just their toxic, I don't know, toxic thoughts and things and play that are leading them to end up losing. Yeah. And I just found it really interesting as a guy that I know he's not completely new to the Dota scene, but he's pretty. I mean, I would say he's pretty new.
Yeah, he's only like 6 months in, so.
Well, I guess he played before a little bit or something like that, but didn't ever like play it much. But I would call him new. Yeah. As a new person, just seeing that immediately, I just think, I don't know, I thought it was hilarious because it's so accurate, especially with in a few games, you can just tell like these people come home and they've got Dota, and it's like, I'm gonna play some Dota because I've had a shitty day and it's gonna help me escape. And then you start losing, and you're just like, and you take out all your anger on that one person because you're wasting your time. And it's just, I don't know, it's great. It was funny.
Yeah, definitely. He's got such a great. And this is why he's going to be a host at TI. Speaking of which, super excited about. Only like 2 weeks away, right? And the freaking group stages are next Tuesday. Oh my god, so excited! Can't wait. I'm like ecstatic right now. And next week it's going to be even crazier because it's going to be that much closer. And I'm hoping to get something. Like a show out during that time. I don't know if we can do something together, but maybe have you out in Oklahoma and me and TI, and we kind of like talk about, you kind of like interview me or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I have no issue. I mean, as long as I have time and the times match up, I'm absolutely down to do something. Oh man, I was so close to being able to go, and then we just ended up spending a little too much on our honeymoon. I think back when I got back, I talked about one of the issues that we had with the money and the excursions on our honeymoon. So we spent a little too much there. And then me not having a job for about 2 months, that savings account kind of dwindled a little bit, you know. So I was looking at it and I was like, I can't afford to go to freaking Seattle. I can't.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you're right, we can't. So sorry.
It stinks that you're not going to be there, man. But we'll get you in next year, and it'll be a true ZPS fashion. We'll be popular, super popular by then. You know, yeah. The kings of Reddit, they'll call us. But sorry.
Yeah,
go
I mean,
ahead.
I was gonna say I'm super excited for TI as well, and it's right. Group stages are the first week of the month, and that first week, my employees know, do not come bother me because I'm doing paperwork. So I'm just gonna lock my doors and just gonna turn on. I'm gonna turn on TI on the computer, let it play while I do my paperwork, and there we have it. Like it's gonna be. I'm gonna be distracted, but it's fine. I got 5 total days to actually do my paperwork, so I'll just take it all slow and watch TI while I do it. So I'm excited. And some of it will be happening whenever I'm at home too. So I'm pretty excited. I'm curious who's going to win. A lot of people are saying Liquid. I want to root for our boys. I don't know if they're your boys, but EG, got to root for them. So
Yeah, I mean, you got to root for an American team. You got to.
Yeah.
So
like last year was great with DC and EG going as far as they did. Oh, it was amazing.
I guess quote unquote new DC, since they've kind of like switched out and everything.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that they're gonna get far at all? I'm a little cautious on them right now. Honestly, I kind of feel like the guys that are gonna win. I did say Liquid in my cast last week, and I felt like I actually switched it to VP because there's so many different teams out there that are good. I don't really like DC's chances right now. I don't know.
I don't think they go too far. I think they advance like once and then they're out probably in a best of 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they go too far, to be honest. I don't know if there's a bracket ready, but I know because they have the group stages. But yeah, I don't think so, really. And VP's a good pick. There's so many good picks. That's the thing. Like VP's a good pick. Liquid's a good pick. OG's a fine pick. I know they have a TI issue apparently, but they're still a good pick. EG is not a bad pick. There's so many good picks for a winner. There's no telling who's actually going to do it.
But you're rooting for EG all the way, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't I? I mean, if EG gets bumped out, it's probably like, dude, I really like Planet. Is it Planet Dog? I know they were picked up by somebody.
They are Hellraisers now.
Hellraiser.
So.
I really like them. They were a lot of fun to watch, and they would be my underdog team that I would root for. But besides that, I mean, it's after EG is out, then I'll just have like a game-to-game root for somebody probably. So.
And in the chat here, we have Jay Gushi saying infamous maybe. I don't know about that, Gushi. I hope that your team does well. I hope that you are very proud of your team and they go far. But I don't know, man. Hope and prayers. But I don't know if they're as strong as the other 12 that I have in my head right now. There's some really strong teams this year, and that's why this TI is going to be great too. It's just that I have no idea. Whereas like the other years, you're like, yeah, Wings is awesome. They're going to be pretty great. And then the year EG won, they're like, yeah, EG's pretty awesome. I felt good about them. Same thing with IG. So like every team that was coming up, I could kind of see the victor already. From a little ways ahead, but there was like upsets and things like that where they got far, but no one ever really won that was an upset. And this year, man, anyone's got this.
Yeah, I mean, of all the invited teams, I see any of them winning, honestly. And then qualified teams, if one of them were to win, it would be Secret, or after Secret, I don't know, TNC maybe, or Cloud9. I don't know. But out of the invited teams, I feel like any of those you can just pick and have a pretty good chance.
You don't think the Cloud9 is going to be the curse that kills NP?
No, dude. I don't want to. I don't want to rag on an internal envy because I know a lot of people like him, but I've never been a huge fan. And it's not the guy that I'm not a fan of; it's the player. There's so many times I know there's things that he can do that I'll never be able to do. But there are times where I'm watching and I'm just like, man, you're a pro player. And there's just things that I don't understand why you're doing that, and it's terrible. Like I don't understand why you're doing it because that was just like a 2K thing that you just did.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Classic.
But anyway,
there's a classic move. Real quick, there's a classic move that he had on Alchemist one time where he missed an armlet toggle while he was jungling and killed himself in the jungle when he had no buyback.
I think it was like last year, I think, that he died to Roshan or something like that as an invoker or something. Oh man! And then there was one time he was playing Terrorblade and didn't activate his BKB and just ran into a fight. I'm just like, bro, that item, that thing that helps you, then you should activate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
All right, yeah, you're right. We should probably get going here. It's been fun to talk about all this stuff, but you guys are here for a draft, and you're here to talk about beers. So let us talk about our beers first. Kimbrell, what are you drinking on today?
Absolutely nothing. Nothing new. I failed this week. I'm glad I got 2 last week. I just have a bunch of leftovers. I have good news, though. So first of all, I've got so much leftovers from last week and just in general. So I'm trying to get those out of the way. I did have one night where I just like hammered down some beers and played some Dota and stayed up to like 2. Probably shouldn't have because then I was late to work the next day. But anyway, however, we live in an apartment complex. My wife is a leasing agent, and so she has people come in all day. And person came in, works at a liquor store we're very familiar with, and they have cases that like a bottle will break or something like that and they can't sell it. So we're about to start getting free beer.
Nice.
Yeah. So
super nice.
That's exciting. Yes. That's the exciting news I have. However, the beer that I have is one of the ones I had, the purple haze from last week, and then I just have a regular shiner to drink. So
gotcha.
That's all I got. A little boring. What do you got?
I don't know if you know this beer. It's a little far away from you, but it's from the Breckridge Brewery. It is a vanilla porter. For some reason, it sounded familiar. I hadn't drank it. I thought maybe you drank it. And it's not from Oklahoma. It's from Colorado, so a lot further away, but to be expected. But I thought there was a chance you may have had it. Did you have this beer before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've had it before.
Okay. But anyway, it's like 5% or 5.4%, and it's pretty tasty so far. We'll see how it feels at the end when I have a couple of them and kind of really get the feeling of the beer. But yeah, you ready to move into the draft now, Kimbrell?
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right. So, do you want to create the room and then tell me the number real quick?
Sure.
And I'll switch it over to that so you guys can watch in the versus.
Oh, you're already
mode.
there.
In the versus mode?
Oh, you were for a minute.
I was. Okay. I totally was. I tried to switch it.
Okay, connecting to room. Room number is 1066.
1066. Okay. Joining up. Alrighty.
Okay. Since you're leading, which side do you want?
It actually doesn't matter about side. It matters about pick. So, hopefully. Oh, you choose. Okay, you choose first pick. Gotcha. And you chose Dire. Okay, so I want the Radiant to have the first pick. I see how that works. Okay, I was doing it wrong the whole time.
Me too.
It helps to read. It helps to read. So the whole draft is based around first pick, and this is a draft that's set up and kind of understood at this point, kind of like I was talking about before. So the first thing that you have to ban out in a draft like this is Clockwork. Clockwork is very important to ban out, and I will reveal all as time goes on.
Okay, with the Clockwork ban, oh man, Playing Earthshaker versus Clockwork, by the way. Not fun, not fun. For reference, yesterday I played Earthshaker versus a Clockwork, and it was not a good time. Anyway, I'm going to ban, if I could ever find him, the twin-headed. There he is. All right, I'm banning Jakiro.
Okay. Okay. So the next person you got to ban is a guy that's a terror in the scene. Especially when you start getting up higher. I'm not really sure if he's a terror in the lower scene right now, but banning the Spirit Breaker. He's just a lot of potential, and once again, I will explain why he's important as time goes on.
Okay. Trying to think of what hero is really weak against Clockwork and Spirit Breaker. I'm gonna ban Venomancer.
Veno's a good pick. Veno's a good pick. But the first start that I have to do here is because Kimbrell did not ban him, and I like the hero in combination with the draft anyways, is the classic pick of Night Stalker. So I'm gonna pick up Night Stalker and see where Kimbrell goes from here.
Okay. I'm gonna go. I want a hero that's not gonna just die to a Night Stalker right away, and he's somebody that's able to survive a little bit, and somebody that's able to bully him out of lane a little bit if he's in off lane. I'm gonna pick an Ogre. And then after Ogre, I think. Not quite sure. I'm gonna go with the Night Stalker. So I'm gonna go with Sand King second pick.
Okay. So this kind of plays into what I was hoping for. It's very strong band. It's very strong picks that Kimbrell made in the very beginning, but it actually doesn't affect what I'm trying to accomplish here. And at this point, I will be picking up one of the most disgusting heroes in the game, a Tinker. So now it's Kimbrell's ban, round 2. Kimbrell shaking his head.
I had an idea of what I wanted to pick versus or with the Night Stalker pick, but I don't want to do it anymore. Tinker and Night Stalker, man.
Right.
Might seem like a silly ban. I'm just trying to think of some silly shit that you're trying to do. And I know Beastmaster Tinker is already a pretty good combo because of Hawk. Plus Hawk with the night vision. Like with the night, so you don't have very much vision, so you're not able to see the Hawk and not able to see. Yeah, I'm just going to ban that. I might not even have any freaking anything to do with what you're doing, but just trying to think of some stupid stuff.
No, it's a good idea. I had a similar concept going on later on, but I don't know if I'm actually going to do it versus your setup. You have some pretty good heroes to counter out a part of the draft. So the next important thing to get rid of is Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit really destroys a Tinker's potential, so you definitely want to ban that out as well. And if you haven't figured it out yet, those are the 3 heroes that you want to take out versus a Tinker.
I haven't played against a Tinker in so long. I can't even believe I didn't think about him.
Oh, the cheese is always real, my friend. Cheese is always real.
I don't know. I don't know what I want here. What do I want to ban? I'm just gonna ban a Clinkz. They feel really weird bans, but I'm just trying to think of like the potential you have already as for ganking and just moving around the map. And a Clinkz would just add to that and would just kill my heroes, even if it's safe lane or wherever you want to put it. So
It's true. Okay. So he has Sand King. He has that. What do I want to ban out? This next phase I'll be able to pick after Kimbrell picks for the next two, but he's going to be able to counter me at the very end. So I need to pick a ban that is really for his last pick. And at this point, I'm going to worry about Ember Spirit getting right up on top of me with a Tinker. If he plays it safe lane, he could definitely do some damage with it eventually. I like Tinker versus him mid, though. It's not the best, but safe lane could be really bad. Oh, I'm a big dum-dum. Oh, I'm a big dum-dum. Ooh, I think I have to pick it up now. I totally messed up a ban there. You should never ban Ember Spirit in that situation. Ember Spirit can be a problem. You should totally ban out the Nyx. And I have to pick it up now, because if Kimbrell picks it up, I will die. So, I gotta pick up that Nyx.
okay, I also picked up a Visage, for reasons.
Oh, I understand these reasons, you jerk.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this anyway, even versus the Tinker. I didn't like it, but I think it's okay, especially with the Visage. I'm gonna go with Lycan.
Okay. Okay. Goes with the Lycan as the second pick. Okay. Seeing what's available here. And seeing what I can do. I know this hero isn't popular, but it's actually quite good against some of the aspects of what Kimbrell's team can do. So I'm actually going to be picking up a Winter Wyvern.
Okay, no, that's pretty strong. So you need to carry. What kind of carry would you want? Just gonna ban out. I don't know. She hasn't been that popular, but I'm gonna ban out a Luna.
It's a good ban. It's a good ban. Give me some more powerful late game. Give me some type of lockdown. Obviously, the glaives bouncing to your creeps is a bad situation. Okay, so we know that we know that Visage is going to be mid, because he's going to be trying to set that up versus Tinker, just so, because it's like almost impossible to kill Visage mid, even if you have like people rotating and ganking. And one of the best things about Tinker is that he can kind of put the pressure on them mid and force them out of lane. So I can't be doing that with this lineup anymore. And he's going to put the Lycan in the safe lane, guaranteed, with probably Sand King in the offlane. He could do it as a support. So he's probably going to have that Sand King in the offlane, most likely. And if he's going to do that, then he needs a good, probably range support in this situation. and a good range support, that would be a problem. I'm going to ban Rubick. I don't like how that feels with the team. I think it gives him a more lockdown, offers him some good steals that he could possibly kind of turn the game around on me with, especially with my next pick. My next pick is actually going to be the big man himself, the guy who has the most cleave out of anyone in the world, big old Sven.
Okay. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I've got some time. Sven.
You do. You do.
I have an offlane or a support. So.
Uh-oh.
Last pick, an Undying.
Oh, that is painful. I did not even think that way. Oh, okay. Okay. Alright, so no more like me stalling here. I'm going to announce the teams here real quick. So for myself, I have Night Stalker, Tinker, Nyx, Winter Wyvern, and Sven. So that is my lineup. And then on the side of Kimbrell, we have his 5 heroes are going to be Ogre, Sand King, Visage, Lycan, and the Undying himself. Oh, man. That Undying pick, man. I was not expecting that. I don't... We'll have to... So we're going to have to validate our lanes here. Try to figure out how to do this. Okay. Okay. I think I can do this.
Okay. I've got my lanes decided. I'm going to have to talk about one of them.
I decided my lanes as well.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll go through them real quick again, and then and then you describe your team, and then I'll describe mine.
Okay.
So I'm going to have my Night Stalker actually as my offlane. It's top. It's the Radiant side, so he's going to be my offlane. We're going to have Tinker mid. No surprise there. And then we're going to have a tri-lane consisting of Nyx, the Winter Wyvern, and Sven at the safe lane bottom. A typical tri-lane, typical setup. On Kimbrell's side, he's going to have... Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but roaming on the Ogre, and he's probably going to be explaining a little bit about what that's going on there. Then he's going to have... His offlane is actually going to consist of 2 heroes, the Sand King and Undying. I knew that was coming, you dirty, dirty man. Ah! That's going to be so painful. So that's going to be the offlane, and then mid is Visage with a safe lane Lycan. So, buddy, how's this going to break down?
Okay, so I put the roaming Ogre. Basically, what I want to happen is I want the Ogre to sit mid with the Visage if needed. And you can just bully out that Tinker in lane, just where he's not able to be in XP range. Ogre can just sit on that high ground until somebody rotates. However, a Wyvern rotation would probably hurt a little bit with the slow and Tinker and hitting him and things like that. And It might get annoying, but he's an Ogre. And then you're also taking your heal away from your safe lane, so your safe lane's getting even more pressured. So I'm going to set Ogre mid with the Visage and let Visage farm what he can. And then around 3 minutes, I'm probably going to, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to send Ogre top. I want Ogre to be top for that first night. That way he's able to be with the Lycan, who, in my opinion, I think is going to be able to farm decently against a Night Stalker solo during the daytime. Now, once it hits night, it's a little different of a story, which is why I'm sending the Ogre up there. And then the off lane, as you mentioned, is just a dirty, dirty off lane. It's really tough to play against as a melee core. And if you're not able to focus, like the Tombstone at all, and Sand King has cost of finale plus stun. It puts out a high amount of damage, especially with the decay as well. So I feel like lane wise, I feel like I think I do okay, actually.
You definitely do okay on lane wise. That is a strong lane draft for sure. Whew. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Anything else you want to say? You're fine to go on ahead.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Now, pushing wise, it's going to be a little difficult versus Tinker, obviously. Visage Birds, though, should be able to give some vision for a Tinker. So, say if he blinks in or comes in, blinks through the trees to help D-push, hopefully you're able to catch him out with like a Sand King blink or something. But yeah, that's about all I got for the rest of that until later. So.
Okay. So I'm going to explain my reasoning here. So, as you guys can tell, I put a lot of focus on banning out the heroes that are important to stopping Tinker. And Kimbrell kind of went a different way around it. It's a thing that's really popular in the meta right now, and it's popular for people in general, is to actually put a hero mid, force them out to be able to farm, and kind of guarantee that your lane pressure is going to win out your mid lane. Yeah, you'll be a couple levels behind, but honestly, levels for mid isn't as big a deal as because you can get the denies, and you can actually make up more a level advantage for your side with the new deny mechanic. So the mid actually ends up being more experience for them, or about even experience for them, and definitely more gold. So hopefully he's thinking, if I'm not stepping over my bounds, is that when you have a farmed Visage, you should be able to take out a Tinker. And I do agree that that's a really smart way to go around it for sure. The way that Kimbrell said, he already is kind of in my head a little bit. I would probably move the Winter Wyvern to mid to guard that in the very beginning. I actually was going to suggest, if I were to run this lineup, you actually want to have a TP on your supports immediately to help out the Tinker. Because if you're going to pick up a mid so early in your match, in your pick stage, that has troubled the certain heroes or certain styles of lineup, you gotta have a way to rotate on top of that. Which, if you look at the lane stages, he actually beats me out in every single lane, which is very, very disturbing. I pride myself on winning a lane somewhere, and that's painful. Because honestly, if you pick up the Night Stalker, and if I do make it go night, there's certain things about Lycan that help him out. His howl gets pretty awesome at night as well. So there's a counterplay in that, and by itself. And if Kimbrell doesn't win the laning stage, though, he's in some serious trouble. And if I can hopefully just survive and lessen the problems that would come up with how he's countering everything, I have some great counters myself. The actual Winter Wyvern, it is the counter, in my opinion, to a Visage mid. I've been playing it out a lot lately. I'm actually very excited that you picked this, Kimbrell, because I wanted to talk about it before TI, because I'm like 95% sure we're going to see this in TI. Someone's going to pick up a Visage mid, and the other team's going to pick up Winter Wyvern. It wrecks him. You use his ult on top of himself. His creeps are always around him, so they start hitting him, and it takes down his what is it, Gravekeeper's Cloak? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Gravekeeper's Cloak just disappears super fast because they attack so fast, deals a lot of damage, and everything around it just collapses on top of him, and he's pretty squishy without all those instances of damage. And then at the same time, you have a big blast at the end with your Splinter Blast to take him if he's really low. So there's a lot of cool play there. I also really like Sven versus him, and it's a really popular combination to get both of them because he gives a lot of physical armor to make your guys kind of crappy, your little gargoyles, and he has the cleave to take care of them. So a lot of times in team fights, if you can have like a core that's doing damage elsewhere, hence Tinker, it's really nice to have a Sven come in and just focus the Visage, focus the gargoyles, hopefully take them out of the fight while Tinker's focusing everything else. So the laser will do lots of damage to what Lycan has to have, and he has to go BKB really early, which slows down his progression quite some. Though, that being said, Kimbrell just poops on all my lanes. Like, holy crap. That last pick, I was not expecting that. Well played, Kimbrell. Well played. Ow. I had to put Night Stalker in the off lane, because if I would have had Night Stalker Sven versus freaking Undying and Chrysalis, or Sand King as some people might call him, that I just die over and over. Like, there's nothing I could have done about that. So I had to put the Nyx as a support, even though I didn't even want that situation. So, yeah. How would you counter my late game, I guess, is what I'm going for at this point.
I'm not sure, actually. Like, late game wise,
your first 20 minutes is scary as shit, though.
Yeah,
holy crap.
That's the main thing, is like I'm wanting to just, I don't know, murder you. I just want to run you over, pretty much.
I feel
like if I'm bullying the Tinker out of lane, and I'm bullying your Sven with my two offlaners, I feel like I'm able to. I feel like Lycan's going to be able to push decently. Visage is going to be able to push. So I think we can easily take your outer towers quite fast versus your team. Mm-hmm. High ground's going to be difficult.
It is. It is.
So I'm not sure if we struggle with high ground, then and you're able to farm some more, and we get to like a later game, then I don't know how exactly I deal with it, because I do think eventually we fall off as a team.
Yeah, you do, but that's kind of these early lineup types of play that you want to go. It makes a lot of sense that you're trying to go for this. The style of play is just to make sure, especially with an Undying, is to interrupt the lanes and force them to go in ways that they wouldn't want to play the matchup to begin with. And it's actually strong right now. Undying's pretty strong right now because of all of these strength heroes who's trying to like out tank an Undying, and there's a lot of people who like to build these like bunch of melee guys that can get really divey, and if they're all up on top of each other, I mean, one Axe is obviously really good versus melees, but someone who's really good versus strength is Undying, and he can just steal all of the strength, make them do a lot less damage, and be even more tanky himself. So, makes sense. The high ground versus a Tinker will be a very big problem for you, and I think I can be able to. Hopefully, I can get enough levels on my Nyx to be able to take out your Lycan later on, because you can be invisible and do quite a bit of damage, lock him down. I also have a lot of lockdown on my team. Sand Stinker, obviously. So, yeah.
I think the best thing, maybe I might be wrong, one of the better things I can do in my off lane is maybe split the farm, or maybe by the time we get to high ground, we have enough farm where my Undying has a pipe while my Sand King has the farm he needs to. If my Undying has a pipe and regen, then we deal with high ground a little bit better. But still, going high ground versus the ice, it's not ice shards. The Splinter Blast and a Sven and the Tinker March Machines, that's just a pain. But if we're able to get through that with a pipe on the Undying, then maybe we do a little bit better going up on a high ground. And Visage should be able to give a little bit of vision with his birds if he uses them correctly. So I don't know. It's early game, as we mentioned. Like, I feel like my team completely wrecks yours. High ground, if we have a pipe, then it's a little easier, and if we're able to actually break through, then the game gets a lot easier once we break through at least a tier 3. But if we're not able to ever break through, and we just keep on struggling, and we're throwing bodies, and we're just having issues, and then you are able to continue to farm, and you're able to get out of your base because we're dead and things like that, then yeah, it becomes a big problem.
Definitely.
So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna probably talk about items real quick, go through those. You want to talk about your team real quick, or you want me to go first?
I'll talk about mine real quick. I just feel like it's pretty easy. I don't play 2 of these heroes almost ever, actually. So
Visage and Lycan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with Lycan, I feel like a Desto is probably going to be good. It helps you push a lot faster. But an AC probably just as good. I think if you're able to get the farm, I've seen like armlets, like Armlet Mask or something like that, and then an AC. But I think a Desto doesn't hurt. And then with the and you want treads, obviously. I'm not going to go too much into that build. I just feel like Lycan is very versatile with what you need. I don't think this is like a Necrobook game like I've seen sometimes just because of the Tinker. And you have nothing to really like significantly lock down the Tinker where you can focus your Necrobook on him, so he's not able. Yeah, I just feel like it's just kind of a waste of time. It does help you push faster, but you already have enough push if you just go Deso, and then you have the Visage. Ogre, I feel like he's going to be just the tanky guy in the early game. He's going to be there mid just to kind of stand there in the way and be annoying. So he's probably going to be like Arcane's Glimmer Cape, and if he can, maybe a Force Staff, but that's about as much as he's going to get, to be honest. He's not going to farm a whole lot. The Sand King should have his Blink, probably, Blink Arcanes. Maybe an Ags. I think an Ags, because one of the hardest things, I wouldn't say hardest things, but something that I've seen people struggle with, and I've struggled with myself, is like when you're playing against a Tinker and you're wanting to Blink stun somebody, it's kind of hard because you only have so much range on Blink and you only have so much range on stun, and you want that instant stun, like that instant Blink stun, instead of the Blink have the potential to get caught out mid Blink or in your Blink before you stun. So anyway, I think an Ags would be good on him. That way you can just stun from a longer distance, and it's just a good item, I think, on him at a certain point.
Mm-hmm. You go Aether Lens first, though, right?
Yeah, I typically go the Blink, I go Arcane's Blink, Aether Lens, and then the Ags.
Okay.
Or another item if I need that, if I'd rather have a Force Staff or something.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And then the Visage, I'm actually not quite sure what that. I've seen Rod of Atos, I've seen Ags, obviously. I feel like Ags is like one of the first items, I think, rushed items that you actually get. And then I've seen Rod of...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The Medallion. Medallion's definitely core
Medallion.
in there.
That's right. So it was Medallion, Ags, and then I've seen Rod of Atos. I've also seen Bloodthorn as well picked up, and you could do both if you have enough, but I feel like I'm not actually quite sure. I just ask you for help what like a typical build is on Visage mid, because I'm not 100% sure, and I don't want to be wrong.
I feel like the most important thing is actually you can rush the Rod of Atos, especially if you need to like lock people down and you're guaranteeing getting kills instead of about pushing. But if you're wanting to do more about pushing in your lineup, then you want to go the Medallion a little bit quicker. You need the Medallion 100% start off, and then go into Rod, and then generally I've seen people go into actually finishing their upgraded Medallion into what's that called again? Solar Crest?
Solar Crest, yeah.
Yeah. So Solar Crest, right after that, just getting that evasion, super helpful, and then going into your Ags. Because once you get the Ags, it's kind of like, you know, when you get those big, like, 15, 20 level buffs on certain talents that just make heroes, it feels that's kind of what you're wanting to have happen. The other two items, let your hero work and let it have a lot of potential to get kills, and then the Ags gives the potential of just multiplying your damage by so much, and just making the hero a terror at the mid game. So I don't disagree that the whole you could rush Ags and people could just ignore the Rod of Atos, especially with how much pressure you give. I just, looking at having Undying and a Lycan, you may want to put the Atos sooner.
Yeah.
Whereas if
it would be good versus. Sorry to interrupt you. It's good against the Tinker as well. I mean, it just
true.
You get vision on Tinker, and that the Rod of Atos range is actually pretty far. So you get any vision. Coming from where he's not able to see you. Fog. Jeez, I couldn't think of the word. Coming from the fog, and you're able to just Rod of Atos him before he's able to blink. He likely dies. So
true. So going for that, anything different about the other guys? You getting any?
I don't think so. Oh, and then the Undying. I feel like with Undying, hopefully, if we're able to pressure enough and we're able to take enough towers and he's getting kills or assists, honestly, I think Arcanes on him. You're gonna need Arcanes on him and Ogre. So and the Sand King. So I guess you could not go Arcanes. You could go something a little more tankier, but I think Arcanes on him was pretty good still. Mm-hmm. And then honestly, I think just a straight pipe, really, like by the time he gets that pipe, you're gonna be trying to do things high ground wise, hopefully. You could possibly go mech. You could go mech then pipe. But you definitely want a pipe to help you push high ground at some point.
Right. So with my draft, what you're going to be looking for is you're going to want Sven to be able to get in early and do a bunch of damage to take out those freaking gargoyles. So, and a lot of times I like to build Sven like this anyway. So getting your treads and then going into your echo, jumping in with a blink dagger, just guarantee, okay, boom, 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 boom. And you just take out the Visage as soon as possible in the fight. Is a very strong way to play. And that's basically what you're going to want to go down. Obviously, you're going to want a BKB for later on. They have, like Kimbrell was mentioning, they have a lot of lockdown. They have a lot of magic damage in particular. Then you may, once you get the BKB, you may want to focus down a Lycan in that situation. So there's a lot of play that you can do with that hero, and it's important to just pop everything, get a hero out of Kimbrell's combination as soon as possible, and not worry about you just missing it in general. But the guys who are going to be starting the fight, the guys that are going to give you the information, is definitely going to be the Nyx and the Night Stalker. And the Nyx is going to be there for the early game. He's going to have that sight advantage, and it's really crucial to have like an invis hero in my lineup. Another way that you can kind of go around this is if a Night Stalker is banned out. A lot of times, I was actually planning on Kimbrell banning out the Night Stalker. It was just a happy coincidence that I got it, because he loves to ban out Night Stalker, and good for good reason. The Night Stalker is a piece of the puzzle, but then I would generally pick up a bounty hunter at that point and use him as a support and use him as the invis kind of sight thing, and then have someone else to kind of initiate as the off lane. But you have the Nyx available to be the invis guy in this situation and initiate as well. So you have him in the very early game to be able to do that, dish out that damage, get that initiation, and then over time, especially in the off lane, a Night Stalker is going to have the situation to get an Axe. And all of this is because you want Tinker to be as far away from the fight as possible. He's going to be raining down rockets on everyone. He's going to be dishing out that magic damage, so you got to give him the sight to be able to do so. Once you also, the beauty about having Night Stalker and a Nyx is that having the Night Stalker in the offlane, you get that Ags up, give you the sight, then you can get the obvious gem to help the Nyx kind of start situations. He doesn't have to worry about getting a Blink Dagger to have to set him up always whenever you're starting team fights. Hopefully you can play around that and take out all the wards from them unless they like drop it right there for a team fight. And you're not really going to be team fighting as much with this team anyway, because Tinker pushes all the different lanes and you want to take advantage of that. The main problem about Kimbrell's draft or anything that's going to be happening is that those, if you don't get off your March of the Machines correctly, then those birds are going to hunt you down and they are going to kill you. They will stun you out and you will be locked down, and then he'll freaking use the Rod of Atos, give you sight, jump in on top of you. So Tinker has to play very smart in this matchup. So you get a lot of availability through that. Tinker's going to be wanting to go for a classic Tinker build right now. You're going to be wanting to go, obviously, your TP boots. You want to go your bottle, your Soul Ring, and you obviously want to get a Aether Lens and your Ags and Blink. Obviously, Blink before Ags and Aether Lens. Blink's a crucial part of the whole setup of Tinker, and do classic Tinker build like that. You can go for Sheep, but Sheep doesn't necessarily work the best versus this team, because if you have a guy that can move at max move speed, that doesn't really help with Sheep. Sheep doesn't really do anything in that. Yeah, they can attack, but it's not the best. So you're going to be focusing on complete damage. The Winter Wyvern, you're going to want Winter Wyvern to hopefully get I want to actually say a Blink Dagger on him. If you can't afford a Blink Dagger, the Aether Lens, the idea is once again to stay as far back as you can, kind of do that type of play, get Urn on the Nyx for sure, build him up, get what you can. Blink's good, Ags is good, but you're going to probably, between the two of them, get either Force Staffs or Glimmer Capes, just because you have to have someone in the game going that. And yeah, that's pretty much what you're going to be going for. Maybe a BKB on the Night Stalker as well, but he's there for utility. He's just an expensive utility. So yeah, that's kind of how you build my team. Anything else, Kimbrell, or do we want to kind of wrap it up and talk about the beers?
I don't think so. I think we already mentioned it. Who wins this draft? I mean, I think
you do.
First, you think so?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. I was going to say the first 20 minutes or so, I believe I do, but after a certain point, then possibly you do. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too technical. I was thinking like Sven eventually gets kited, and then with the BKB, you know, if you get that down to 5 seconds, then he's able to be kited just as much. So I don't know, but yeah, I think the pressure early game is just it's a lot to deal with.
If I get any semblance of farm, you're dead. But yeah. Honestly, if we're playing team versus team and they're evenly distributed, and that's kind of the whole purpose of this draft scenario to begin with. It doesn't make sense otherwise. You will beat me. You will crap on all my lanes, just utterly destroy them in every single situation. There's not much I could do. Like, you're going to outplay, you're going to outpressure, you're going to put the advantage on your side in every lane. And that's a losing scenario. If you lose out on every lane, even with a draft like mine, it's really hard to come back like that, especially nowadays. With the whole lane domination and being able to get experience back from denies, that's like the main focus of this meta. And if you don't play like that, then you can get screwed just like I did right now. This week I got to give it to Kimbrell. I think he totally outplayed me just by that last pick too. I had him, and I didn't see the friggin' Undying at the end. Destroyed me. It was bound to happen. Kimbrell is just as good as a drafter as I am, but I was hoping to have him this week with my special Tinker draft. I thought I was so clever, but I was not. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Feels pretty good to have an outright, like, I guess, win.
Yeah, I gotta say, you definitely outright beat me this time. Yeah, but you want to talk about the beers? You want me to? Well, I guess.
I mean, last week I think I kept the Purple Haze a 4, right?
Yeah.
4? Oh yeah, it's really. I mean, it's really good, and being colder this time than it was last time, yeah, it's actually super good. So I might. Yeah, it's a 4. It's 4.5, somewhere around there. It's really good.
Gotcha.
That's why my wife liked it. So
nice. So she did end up liking it, because I know that was the drive last time. You said that you were like gonna bribe her with beer, so.
Yeah. She ended up liking both of them. So
nice. All right, so the vanilla porter that I'm drinking, it's pretty good. It's actually very slight vanilla taste. So if you like that, if you're not looking for a sweeter beer, you're looking for more of a nice regular porter with like a tiny splash of vanilla. This is pretty good. It's pretty good. I will give it a 4 as well. It's something I like porters, but there's always something missing about them as a drink. It doesn't have the bite that I enjoy, and it's not like the bite from a IPA necessarily. It feels like there's something missing from the beer. So as I drink more, I'll probably get more articulate about it, but for some reason I just don't have the real appreciation of what porter drinkers are looking for. So I'm going to give this a 4. And 4 thunderclaps.
yeah.
All right.
Before we close out, SA kindly reminded us I changed my Twitter handle. And, I'll just go ahead and say it now, and then you can re-say it later if you want to. But it is now ZPS Kimbrell. And that's it. There's no underscore. It's just ZPS Kimbrell. I thought it kind of fit with my name being Shane and last name being Kimbrell. ZPS Kimbrell. Anyway. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. So for all good things must end, as always, I gotta say that it's like my classic sign out. So if you want to, you can help us out or by subscribing or liking any of our videos. You can go to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZombiePandaStudios. If you want to go to our YouTube channel, you guessed it, it's Zombie Panda Studios once again. And if you're feeling extra generous and you want to give to our Patreon, there's a lot of different good things on there. There's coaching, there's different things that Kimbrell's doing for streaming, different old school games that you guys want to watch be played through, get all that nostalgia back, that warm, great nostalgia. You can go to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/ZombiePandaStudios. If you want to follow me at my Twitter, you can follow me at FlubbDota. You can follow Kimbrell, as he just said, at ZPS Kimbrell _. A little tail at the end, can't ever forget it.
No.
Wait, what?
No underscore.
No underscore? Oh my god. I screwed up. I'm sorry.
It's just ZPS Kimbrell. That's all it is.
ZPS Kimbrell. Alright, I like it. So, my bad. I totally screwed up my co-caster's name already. I'll get it for next week, though. We'll have it down. And you can follow the both of us, our joint Twitter account, at Panda Studios. You can follow me at my... Oh, jeez. I just almost said it again.
I threw you off.
No, you're good. You're good. You had to correct me. You need to get people watching your YouTube. Your Twitter. So if you want to, you can listen to a podcast instead of the VODs at Stitcher, iTunes, or SoundCloud at the same name, Zombie Panda Studios. We want to give out a special thanks to all of our Patreons that have donated this month. Tim Kaninsky, Ryan Ebel, Justin McGuire, Ryan Kruger. I always say his name Cougar. Oh, my bad, buddy. And then we also have Chris Fisher adding to the list. So thanks, guys, for donating, and we really appreciate it. All right. So I'm glad that you guys were able to sit down and share a beer with us today. And we will have a brand new Flubb update on Sunday. And if not, we will catch you. If we don't catch you there, then we will catch you on next week for a brand new Brewmaster's draft. All right. Catch you later, guys.
Bye, everyone.